Loca, exagerada, you're attention seeking, llorona, just get over it, crazy, stop being a crybaby, don't be so dramatic.
2 months ago, when I had to call the suicide hotline, and my counselor told me, Jirsa, you're going through a major depression, had I not been reading articles about it, I maybe would not have understood it, and maybe those suicidal thoughts would have kept on going, and maybe I wouldn't be here right now.
I've lived with a mental illness most of my life, and I decided that this is something that I wanted to tackle. When you Google images of mental illness, there's usually just one representation, and that's white women. The photos we've taken today, I want those to be conversation starters. I want people to see people who look like them and to see family members in their community and say, that's something that pertains to me, and I'm not the only one.
I realized that mental illness runs in both sides of my family. As a culture, Dominican people just don't discuss. And I think maybe I'm generalizing, but I think a lot of people of color just don't discuss.
I am Puerto Rican and Italian American. I'd always thought that I should have gone to therapy before because I was physically abused as a kid. Through therapy and all that, it truly saved my life and made me a much more grounded, authentic person. I feel like so much more able to be myself, to even be able to talk to you about this.
In my family and being so culturally tied to my, my Puerto Rican heritage and culture, we don't talk about mental illness. There's just certain things we don't talk about, and that was one of them. There's a stigma that you'll just kind of get over it. For me, my anxiety turns into kind of this sense of rage, which is a form of anxiety. Really started to learn the history of my family and found out that many of my aunts and my cousins actually suffer from depression or are on antidepressants, have been in the hospital, and kind of looking back and being so all this time I wasn't alone.
There's so many people in our community that do not get diagnosed, and they live their entire lives not getting the help they deserve. And I feel like through this project, there is a reason why I'm still here despite so many suicide attempts. I was meant to share my story and to start these conversations.